boys and girls, and welcome to today's math lesson about tens. Before we begin, I'd like you to make sure that you have your math workbook, okay, ready, your connecting cubes, pencil, and eraser, okay? So we're going to start, and I want you to think, what do you think the word tens mean? Can you show an adult helper next to you, or even at the screen? What would be tens? What do we have tens of? I know I can use my fingers, and I have 10, right? That's right. You could use cubes. Make sure you have 10 in your rod of cubes. Very good. All right. And let's see. We are continuing to find ways to answer our essential question for this chapter. How can I use place value? All right, so let's look at our math question of the day here. This one, they want us to circle the group of 10, write how many more, and then write the number. Okay, so let's look here. We have already discussed how when you see a 10 frame filled, that automatically tells you that it is, a group of 10. So we're going to circle that. And how many more? 1, 2. So it's 10 and 2 more. So what's the number? Well, 12, but let's see. 10 is in my head. 11, 12, and that is the number 12. Whoops. And another not so great job by me printing. Okay, let's continue to our next question. Which number is made with one group of 10 and 8 more? Okay, pause and think about it. And when you come back, let's see if we have the same answer. Did you get 18? Good job. That's right, 10 and 8 more. Okay, so you could have used your connecting cubes, or you know that 10 and count on 8 more would be 18. Good job. All right, so let's look now at our investigation. They would like to know, how can we use objects to count by 10? Well, as I already said before, you could use your fingers. We can use connecting cubes, okay? But sometimes, I don't have enough things to make all these little groups of 10, or I don't have enough room. So who's ever used their fingers to count by 10 before? Have you done that? Yeah, okay. So let's try that. If we put our fingers up like this, okay, I would like to use each finger to represent a group of 10. Okay, so let's try counting that together. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, good job. And if you find that you need a little extra practice counting by 10, you can still do that on your own. Okay, sometimes we have to practice to warm up. Okay, let's look at this question. Lana buys 9 packs of postcards, okay? And there are 10 postcards in each pack. How many postcards did Lana buy, and model the number of postcards using objects? Well, 9 packs of postcards and 10 in each one. That would be an awful lot of postcards, okay? So today I'm going to show you, we could actually do this with either one of these. So first I'm going to show you one way to do it with a connecting cube. And I'm going to make believe that in each box that the connecting cube looks like, it has 10 postcards in it. So, but we have 9 packs. So here's 1 pack, 2 packs, 3 packs, 3 packs. Come on, over here. Let's do that one like that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now, inside each one is 10 cards, postcards. So how will I count this? Okay, that's right, by 10. Ready? 10, 20, don't go ahead of me. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, so I'm going to write down 90 right here so that I don't forget. Now, what I'm going to also do now is I'm going to show you something. You've had these blocks in your bags for a while, and these are called base 10 blocks. This cube is only worth 1. Now, if you were to take your rod, which I have one here to show you, if you were to take your rod and look very carefully at yours, you'll notice that there's little notches on it. And what that means is each one is supposed to be a little cube. Now, when you count them, you will find that there's 10 on here. So this would be a group of 10. So I'm going to now, okay, let's put this over here. I'm going to switch out these and see if by using one rod that shows 10 on each one, if it will still come out to 90. So here's one pack of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they grow when you bring them up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's 9. Now, let's count by 10 and see if it still works. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Yep, still get 90. So these are 10s. Each group here is a 10 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little cubes together that make the rod. So there are 9 groups of 10s that equal 90 postcards. And we will go over this more at another time. So this is just a little quick investigation to get us started. Okay, so let's move on to our next. Okay, here we go. So now I would like you to turn to page 353. And you see here, it looks like a little train car, okay? And they would like us to use these cubes. And they would like you to take one cube into each window and attach it, okay? So that you would make, once you fill it up and make your 10, okay, 5, and link them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I will tell you, all right, you are not going to have enough for the directions that they have. So we're actually probably going to have to count one of your rods of cubes, or better idea, they want you to do that 3 times. So if you use your 2 rods and take one of your base 10, okay, they say to fill up the windows and then hook them together and move them over. That's one train. Then they want you to do it again, move it over. That's your second train. Okay. Then, as we've already talked about, this rod is also, even though it's smaller, has the same number of squares as this, 10. So there's 3. Now they want to know how many train cars do we have. So we have to count them. but I don't want to count each little block. So what's the best way to do? I heard somebody say it. Count by tens. You're right. Okay, so let's count by tens and write the number of how many we have. 10, 20, 30. 30 little trading cards. Okay, so let's print our answer. Get my writing tool. And we're going to print the number 30 right here. Because when you've done this 3 times, you will have 30 little trading cards together. Okay. Okay, let's erase this. And then we go to, that's right, see and show. All right, you can group 10 ones, okay? One of these is a 1, right? 1. When you put it together and you get 10 of them, you have a group of 10, right? That's what's here. We've done this many times. So let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now notice they have them laid out just like you would do on a base, excuse me, on a 10 frame. Okay, so that way it's easily seen that there's 2 groups of 5s there, and they push it together to make the group of 10. So one way of doing this, if they did that 3 times like we were talking about, there are 3 10s, okay, equals 30. These cubes are in groups of 10. Count by tens to find out how many cubes there are in all. Much easier than counting one at a time, right? If you, anything, you could group it into 10. Marbles, pennies, anything like that. And then just count it by 10. And it would be very easy to figure out how many you have. All right, so now let's look at this. They have done the cubes for us, okay? So for number 1, it says use the cubes, make groups of 10, and then count by 10 and write the numbers. Now, slow down, watch. There's 10 here. We already know that. They told us. So there's 10, 20, 30, 40. Now that's the number here. So yes, you could, if you wanted to, print, oh, that's not going to work. You could print 40 here. But that's the first thing they're asking is how many group of 10s do we have? Now we're not going to count by 10 because they're saying how many groups. There's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4. There are 4 10s that equal 40. Okay, so there are 4 groups of 10. That's what this means. 4 10s, and the quantity equals 40. So we're going to be working on that today with this lesson. Okay. Now, let's see how many groups of 10 there are. Count and see if you get the same number as me. Did you get 7? If you did, good job. All right. And how many? There are 7 10s. That means there's 7 groups of 10. Let's count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That's right, 70. 7, 0. Okay. Okay. And even though I can look and see the word 70, I like to count, to practice counting by tens and to be sure that it's the same. Okay. Let's look what we have next. Okay. The next one. How would you use cubes to model the number 100? Well, how many groups? Let's see. Well, there's 10 in one group, right? So the question is, if I use these, how many groups would I need? What do you think? Well, I know I don't have enough to figure it out, but if I use my imagination and said my one finger equals a group of these, I could figure out how many would I need, right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So how many groups of cubes would I need? If I put them in groups of 10, I would need 10 rods to be able to model the number 100, right? That would be a lot of cubes. Oh my goodness. Okay. On your own, you're going to look at how many groups of 10 there are, and then what the number is. So this is number 3. Blank tens equals, let's see, 10, 20. It says 20. But remember, this is how many rods, how many groups there are. Okay? All right. So solve number 3 and 4. Pause the video and come back and check your answer. Yes, there were 2 groups of 10 that equal 20. And on number 4, there were 8 groups of 10, and that equals 80. All right, pause and solve. Here are your answers. Okay, 7 and 8, pause and solve. Here are your answers. All right, now let's look at the problem here. Now, Kelvin has 7 groups of cars, and there are 10 cars in each group. How many cars does he have in all? Now, it would take a lot to put 7 separate groups that have 10 in each one, right? It would take a lot to draw. So what I like to do is I like to just say, I'm going to draw a rod. Now, when I draw a rod, I just draw a line, just like that, because that's what my cubes look like. So that's 10 right here. In my imagination, that represents 10. I need 7 groups of them. So there's 1 group of 10, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now that's my 7 groups. There are 10 in each. So how do I have to count? That's right, by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 cars. Wow, he has a lot of cars. All right, 70 cars. Okay, I'm sure we took our time. Let's check the way they did it. Yep, 70 cars. Okay, now, number 10. Mrs. Brown is making cookies for the soccer players. There are 4 teams of 10. How many cookies does she need? I want you to remember how I solved with you number 9. This time there are 4 teams, and in each team there are 10. Think about how you could solve that. Pause and come back and check your answer. 40, that's right. All you needed to draw was the 4 groups of 10 with just like a rod. Just draw 4 lines and count by 10. Very good. All right. Jaden says the pennies show 2 tens. That means there should be 2 groups of 10. Tell why Jaden is wrong and make it right. All right, well, let's see. How many are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's not a group of 10. Let's check this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, this is a group of 10. So how can I make this a group of 10? What should we do? That's right. We should add more. So there's 7. So I'm going to keep counting and drawing until I get to 10. 8, 9, 10. Because we already knew there were 7. I'd like to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's right. So I'm going to, let's type what we had to do so that we can, all right. Whoop. He needs to add 3 pennies. Whoops. Pennies to the first group to make two groups of 10. Okay? Well, boys and girls, that's our math lesson for today. We will be practicing more, making groups of 10 and counting by 10. And you did a great job. So see you later in math. Bye-bye.